Now, when it comes to successfully writing copy, it's not about you, it's not about your company, and it's not even about your product or service. Copywriting is all about one thing and one thing only, and that's your ideal customer. So timestamps below, along with some other helpful links and resources to getting started copywriting, including a link to our sales copy playbook. More on that in a little bit. Now, when you're writing sales copy, copy that speaks to everyone winds up connecting with no one. And so the foundational first step in writing any copy, whether it's a landing page, a sales page, an ad, is figuring out specifically who we are writing it for. Now, the good news is you don't have to go spend 3 weeks of customer avatar research. We can do this in less than 20 minutes, and here's a simple way to do it. Simply ask yourself, whoever you're selling your offer to or trying to join your email list, what are the big results that they're after, and then what are the roadblocks in their way. That's it. Spend 20 or 30 minutes, list out anything and everything you can think of, make it an exhaustive list. For time purposes, here's what it would look like if we were trying to offer some sort of webinar to grow a YouTube channel, right? So the results, obviously people want to be full-time, and there's different versions or variations of wanting to be full-time and of course enjoying making content. Then on the roadblock side, well, what do they think is getting in their way? Not ranking, not growing fast enough, their video quality, all sorts of things, right? And so we can take a simple list like this and plug it into some simple copywriting formulas that we'll go through in a moment, and copywriting starts to become a just plug and play process. Now, here are some examples of some results and roadblocks that apply to a lot of different situations. Normally, people are going to want more time, more money, more freedom, right? And on the other side, they think they don't have enough time, money, freedom, or experience in order to get more time, money, freedom, or experience, right? You'll see how this plays out more, but hopefully this simple little process can jumpstart some ideas on how you can actually better relate to your ideal customers. So this is where copywriting actually comes in. Again, link in the description to our copywriting playbook that has a lot more detail on this particular process. So here are some simple headline formulas you can use, and you'll see how you can easily plug in everything we just did into these formulas. So the first one we have here, the power word way to result without roadblock, and how any prospect can now result in just time. So here's what these formulas would look like using our roadblocks and results from someone who wants to grow a YouTube channel. Now, for time purposes, you can always pause. I won't go through all of these. The first one is we have the fastest way to improve your video quality without refilming. So we're talking about this is going to allow them to get a result that they want, which is better video quality, without doing something they think they have to do, which is going and like refilming all of their videos, right? We want to remove the pain points or roadblocks that they think they have to go through in order to get what they want. So skipping down here, the third one, we have the easiest way to collaborate with bigger channels without thousands of subs. So here we're saying, hey, you can go collaborate with big channels because you don't necessarily have to have all of these subscribers in order for it to be valuable. Now, obviously, whatever we're offering has to show them how to do that. And then finally, we have how any video creator with 5K subs or more can now travel for free. So here what we can do is we can identify someone and their specific situation. Now, obviously, we need to be ethical here. If I said how anyone with more than 100 subscribers can travel for free, it's probably not going to work too well when you call up a hotel and say you have a giant audience. But once you have 5,000 subscribers, that might actually be a possibility. And so all we're doing here is calling out who this offer is for, or specifically talking about a result our specific customer wants, and then saying you can get this without having to deal with all of that, whatever that winds up being in terms of actual roadblocks. And so the other cool thing here is the roadblocks that you talk about don't necessarily have to be real. As long as they're real to your ideal customer, then you can address them and say, hey, you don't have to overcome this. So if you want more headline formulas, link in the description to our sales copywriter playbook that has way more headline formulas. These are just two simple ones you can start with. Now, irrespective of what type of marketing that you're doing, you probably, of course, need a headline to grab some attention, and then you need some sort of bullet points to actually communicate how the offer saves them time, money, energy, really digs into the benefits of whatever it is that you're offering. And again, there are lots of formulas here, but let's just go through a couple. So the first one we have is the number one mistake 99% prospect group makes that makes roadblock worse. the mechanism to power word verb result. That one will not make sense until we fill it in. And then plus a real life case study of how this exact lead magnet or whatever it is that you're offering allowed me to, or allowed us to, or allowed our clients to achieve result in just time. And so jumping into our example here, we have the number one mistake video creators make that forces the algorithm to ignore small channel uploads, the editing hack to quickly hide any recording mistakes so you never have to refilm again, plus a real life case study of how this exact growth blueprint allowed our channel to double subscriber growth in just 90 days. And so here is an example of some mechanism words. So what you're doing here is you're going to take something that's inside of whatever it is that you're offering, and you're just going to give it a name. So in this particular example, we had an editing hack, right? As opposed to actually listing out using a jump cut or this type of cut or that type of cut, just call it an editing hack. And then instead of talking about the 5 different steps you have to go through in order to double your subscriber growth, we just call it the growth blueprint. And so blueprint, strategy, tactic, method, new way, those are all different ways of giving a name to something, and it builds some curiosity around what you are offering. And of course, copywriting, while we do want to make it really clear that we understand the results that they want and we understand the roadblocks and pain points that they're trying to overcome, we also still need to keep some curiosity in here. And so we want to build some curiosity around how they're going to achieve that result or how they're going to overcome that roadblock. Because if we come out and say it, then that's not really sales copy. That's just a really boring description of what's in your product, and then nobody actually reads or buys or opts in. So if you're getting some value out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button, comment below with any of your copywriting questions. Now, before we get into the story formula, there is a really simple copywriting framework you can use for about 95% of any copywriting that you need to. And it's called the PAS framework. It stands for problem, agitate, solve. So let's imagine you are writing a Facebook ad, right? So what the heck are we going to put in our Facebook ad text? Well, at the very top, we want to start with a problem. So in this particular instance, we can look at our list of roadblocks, and let's just choose the problem of not ranking, even though as time goes on, ranking on YouTube seems to matter less and less. So we can start out by saying something like, when I was a channel at 5,000 subscribers, I really struggled to rank my videos, and I got so sick and tired of spending so much time and energy and just finding that I was always ranked 10 or 12, and it didn't matter what I did with SEO, nothing seemed to work, right? So there's the problem, right? And then we went ahead and agitated it a little bit by adding a story and talking about what we tried. So I talked about trying SEO and it not working, right? So that's our problem. That's our agitate. I kind of got carried away there. And then solve. And then you move into, it wasn't until I found out this one little trick, this method, strategy, technique, new way to, so there's your mechanism, that finally allowed me to start ranking in the top 5, right? And so that is just something, probably we could fix it because I just made that up on the fly. But as you can see, we start with the problem, we agitate it by talking about something that they probably tried and it hasn't worked either, and then presenting the actual solution in the form of a mechanism. So again, here are some words you can use to try and come up with your own mechanism. That playbook linked up in the description has a master list along with some power words as well to help with your copy. So when it comes to writing stories, specifically when it comes to emails, everything we've talked about thus far will help with your ads and of course your landing pages and your sales pages, but emails are a little different, right? Because emails, we actually tend to have their attention for at least 30 or 45 seconds. We're not competing with whatever social platform we're advertising or posting to. And so here we want to be a little more personal. And the best thing to do with your emails is to use story, whether it's your own story, a story of someone they know in your niche or industry, or one of your client stories. It's a great way to empathize and energize people to take action because you're showing that, hey, I understand where you've been and this is ultimately going to help you. So after you've built curiosity with your subject line, you need the first 2 opening lines to hook them. Think of it starting at the climax of whatever your story is. You go through your story and then you have a call to action at the end. So here's an example of one of our emails. I should definitely come up with a new one. So if you watched any of our copywriting videos before and you wonder why I keep using this one, it's because I just haven't gone to our MailerLite account and gotten a new example. So here we go. 43 minutes and 28 seconds in. My palms are starting to get sweaty. Up until this point, I've been calm, but coming to the hard part, the part where I never know exactly what to do or what to say. It's almost been a year and I still can't get over this hurdle. So you want to start at whatever the big issue or roadblock is in the story. So here we're talking about a sales call. And so we're starting with, oh my gosh, something's about to happen that's really terrible and this guy's super nervous. And anyone who's been on a sales call before probably has been in a point in a conversation like, I don't know what the heck to say to you right now. I don't have an answer to that question, right? So if you haven't, comment below because apparently you are just a sales whiz and the rest of us are doing it wrong. So then we move on to the setting, right? So we have this big emotional moment and then people want to know, okay, yeah, that's great, but what the heck is going on here, right? So they're hopefully hooked in. So then we go back to the setup. I'm on my third sales call of the day and this happens every dang time. It's just 90 seconds away. I can feel it. The question I never know how to answer. And then you go into the roadblock. So what is happening right before whatever the bad event is? So in this particular instance, how much do you charge? Gulp, will I get it right this time? Unfortunately, most of the time I'd get it wrong, really wrong. Some sales calls ended in a high ticket sales. Others ended with a sense of dread for the low price I'd settled for. So what's important here is, yes, we're talking about the situation of the sales call, but we're also really focused on the emotion, being nervous, feeling just dread, right? So anyone who's gone through the situation can hopefully relate to it. Obviously, if no one's been through it and they've never been on a sales call before, they'll read through this and go, oh, that sucks, and then probably just skip the email, right? Because they're not a good fit. And that's part of the point of your stories. You're not trying to empathize and connect with everyone. You just want to empathize and connect with people who have experienced this situation. And if they have, then whatever we're about to offer is just going to seem like that much better of a solution. And so then we go into the solution. It was out of the frustration of my cowardice that I created a simple system for pricing. So simple system is the unique mechanism here, a carefully formulated structure to keep me confident and profitable with every client. If you've ever struggled to determine what you're worth or how much you should be charging, check out this video here. And then the PS section goes into another call to action to reinforce whatever the call to action is of the email. And that's it. So hopefully that helps you with seeing how you can actually write your emails and your stories and a couple of headline and bullet point ideas. Go ahead and comment below with any of your copywriting questions and check out that link in the description to our sales copywriter playbook that has twice, if not three times as many formulas for all different situations to help you get started with your copywriting. Copywriting takes a lifetime to master, but it only takes a few weeks to be good enough to actually start making sales. You don't have to be a copywriting master to get started, to start making some sales, and then you can keep studying like the rest of us. So go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing guides just like this one, and until the next, keep building the business you love.